I don't know your thoughts about Ambrose Rachier's interview yesterday on NTV. But for me, I think it's going to have serious implications on so many things. Already, I can see his law partner, Otiende Amollo, has issued a statement, a tweet, which let me just read for you the tweet. Interesting times. Have seen an interview by my law firm partner, Ambrose Rachier, on freemasonry. I am not and will never join freemasonry. Let it be known that the law firm of Rachier and Amolo, LLP, is not associated with the movement. From Otiende Amollo's statement, it simply means that already it has an impact. And it's going to be practically impossible to separate Ambrose Rachier, the person who was interviewed on NTV, from his law firm. And since the law firm is jointly owned by him and Otiende, maybe Otiende Amollo will need to sue him for non-disclosure in case he didn't know, because according to Rachier, the details about the Freemasonry is actually top secret. So it's going to have serious impact on that. And again, Gor Mahia as a club. Ambrose Rachier is the current chairperson of Gor Mahia Football Club. And just going through Gor Mahia Facebook pages and groups, you will notice that majority of Gor supporters are actually shocked. And they don't want the club to be associated with Ambrose Rachier. In fact, some are suggesting that Rachier was talking about the movement as a way of as a means of charity, while Gor is struggling. I was even reading from a former Judith Nyangi, who is a former official of Gor Mahia, suggesting that there are several accidents and Gor Mahia supporters who have lost their lives, and kind of attributing it to the movement, which really for me doesn't make sense. But the Secretary General of Gor Mahia issued a statement, and the statement said, as the SG of Gor Mahia FC and on behalf of the EC, which is Executive Committee, I watched with interest our chairman's interview about the Freemasons. The executive members, players, employees, and the mighty Gor Mahia Football Club wants to assure our fans that we are not part of the Freemason Society, and our chairman's affiliation to that society is personal journey as attested in the media. The executive committee kindly requests all fans of the club to stay calm as we mitigate the way forward. Thank you. I don't know whether Rachier really thought about the implication, but Rachier is coming out just like a typical Luo who really don't understand secrets. You know, Luos don't keep a lot of secrets. Rachier himself was very clear in the interview that the Freemason is a secret society, which means most of the things happening there ought to be kept secret. Again, he didn't really consider the implication this statement was going to have on others. Like now you see Otiende Amollo being hurt, the Gor Mahia Football Club being hurt. I've even read online majority of people who are anti-Raila Odinga trying to link Raila Odinga with the movement. In fact, someone was saying that Raila Odinga is close friend to Rachier, and the fact that Job Omino was also a close friend to Raila Odinga and was a member of the movement. You see, that's the implication. Why is it that way? Number one, our country, Kenya, is generally a religious country. And, you know, as a religious country, there are certain things which we are taught when we are young. You know, like for example, when we were young, we were told so many things about certain buildings. If you are in Kisumu here, behind the governor's office there next to that school, they have a mansion there. And when you were young, you would pass there running because you were told so many things so many myths about the secret societies. So Rachier ought to have understood that Kenya is really a religious state. If they could vote for Ruto because they believed Ruto is a religious person and Raila Odinga is a devil, you know, looking at it from that alone would have informed, being as a lawyer of serious repute. You know, there's no better lawyer in this country. If you have to count 10 lawyers, Rachier cannot fail to be one of them. So he failed to understand that Kenya is a religious state. I mean, it's not a religious state, it's a religious country where people believe so many things, superstitions and the rest. I also tend to think that Rachier really did injustice to the interview. You know, when the NTV started hyping the whole thing about this particular story, so many Kenyans were eager to listen to, they were really eager to listen to the story. They wanted certain information. Those information never came out well, because, you know, Rachier was talking as if it's there are levels. 33 levels is at level 30. And if you are at the lower level, you can't know whatever is happening the next level. You can't know what's happening the next level. You can't know what's happening to several levels. But Kenyans really wanted to understand what is this thing all about. That did not really come out clearly. And the fact that he talked of charity, and Kenyans were like, okay, if it's about charity, why is it secret? And which charitable organizations are they supporting? Where are their charity work? What are they doing? You know, so many questions really. The secrecy of the group also complicated things for Rachier. You know, maybe he would have wanted to talk about these things, but it's a secret society. And you know, it's at level 30 and it's up to 33. So probably he was told, if you are to go out there, then you have to reach this particular level. So he really didn't have that time really to explain to Kenyans what really the finer details. You know, Kenyans really wanted the details, and it's because of the secrecy, it didn't really come out. And I also want to conclude by saying that Rachier probably did not really understand that as Rachier, he's an institution already, having served as Gor Mahia chairperson for that long, having been one of the top lawyers in the country, running a very successful law firm. And the fact that this thing was new, you know, it was the first time Kenyans were like, okay. So there was that lack of understanding. Kenyans really did understand all this, and they expected Rachier to come out, but Rachier really didn't understand the implication of whatever he was doing. I'll be keenly following to understand how Gor Mahia is going to move forward, the farm of Rachier and Amolo, whether they're going to part ways. Because even by yesterday, I remember one of the lawyers, Peter Wanyama, had predicted that things like these would definitely lead to fallout in law firms. Because if another partner was not aware, or if another partner really would not want to associate, and the firm is already entrenched, how do you, I mean, they've worked for the firm for so many years, so it's likely to be affected. I'll be waiting to see. Gor Mahia is going for an election soon. Will Rachier be elected again? Those are now the questions and the things we'll be waiting to hear. I don't know what you think. What's your thoughts? I don't want you to get into the details, because religion is basically a personal matter which I won't want to involve really much of it in all this. Your thoughts?